Gritch in the NLCS on Fox Sports 1 is brought to you by T-Mobile, changing the game of wireless. It is NLCS game number 3. We're in San Francisco. Each side with a victory so far in this battle for the pennant. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Harold and Tom are coming right up. This series, this postseason has been fantastic. But within this series, Madison Bumgarner, great in game 1. 2 nights ago in St. Louis, the home run ball popped up again for the Cardinals. They hit 4 home runs, and they won the ball game 5-4. Colton Wong, the hero in the 9th inning. So now we come out here to California. That's Harold. That's Tom. It's been a terrific series so far, but the headline in game 2 for the Cardinals might be losing Yadier Molina, who has been just rock solid for the Cardinals behind home plate.
Tough to lose Yadier Molina, particularly seeing the injury that he had. But there is a silver lining here. He's back working out and will be used as a defensive player. Last time we saw him, yes, the double play ball couldn't advance to first base, the oblique injury. Today, this morning, throwing, obviously it's 1 o'clock out here on the west, 11 o'clock, he's throwing, playing catch. He worked out yesterday, felt good. They're going to use him on defense. He can't swing, but he can catch and throw. And for an advantage to bring him off the bench, what an opportunity they will use him to do that with. Now, A.J. Pierzynski will get the start. He's caught John Lackey 20 times in Boston, so they're very familiar with each other. It also gives the Cardinals 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup today against Tim Hudson.
Meanwhile, if you talk about the rock that Yadier Molina has been the last 83 postseason games for the Cardinals, he's been the guy behind the plate. This is what Tom Verducci looks like. And over on this side, we're talking pitching. This pitching matchup, 2 veteran right-handers, it's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. It's not quite old-timers day, but if you like your pitcher's experience, you have to love this matchup. 838 career starts for these 2 pitchers. John Lackey turns 36 in 9 days. Tim Hudson, 39. What I like, Joe, is look at their pitching lines from the first round. Both these pitchers on point in the postseason. Lackey will get swings and misses at the top of the zone and outside with the breaking ball. Hudson, when he's on, a lot of ground balls, keeps it busy on the infielders.
Been a fun series, as I said at the beginning. It's been a great postseason for baseball. What are we going to get today? We're out here in California. It's game 3 coming up next on Fox.
The fire is wild.
Wong hits it into right. Game over. Wong wins it.
Strikeout number 7 for Tim Hudson tonight.
Got him. Strikeout number 8 for Lackey. Tim Hudson's team appeared in a divisional series, his team lost. First 4 were with Oakland. 2 to the Yankees, 1 to the Twins, 1 to the Red Sox, then 2 4-game losses with Atlanta. The hands of the Astros and the Giants. He was outstanding in Game 2 of the divisional series at Washington against the Nationals, and he gets the ball in this NLCS with the series tied at a game apiece. So number 17, he is 39 years old and in the first year of a 2-year deal, and his first warm-up pitch just went back to the backstop. So there are the numbers from the regular season for a guy who had a gruesome ankle injury last year while with Atlanta, but he is a veteran presence. The right-hander getting set to take on St. Louis here today.
Yeah, he couldn't even get out of the first round last year when he was on the DL. The Braves got knocked out.
Here's the lineup for St. Louis, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. Matt Carpenter leads it off. He is at third. Then John Jay, Matt Holliday, Matt Adams, Johnny Peralta, Colton Wong, A.J. Pierzynski gets his first start in the postseason as a Cardinal. Randall Gritch batting 8th, and John Lackey does the pitching. He will bat in the number 9 spot. And I don't care where you go, you're not going to find a more beautiful ballpark, whether you're in it or above it. The opening pitch will be brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball.
What a gorgeous setting, and you look over there as you get a chance to look around this ballpark. The one thing I was thinking about with it being a day game was how was the sun going to play? This is a very difficult sun field in left field, but it's been overcast all day. The wind is blowing out to left field, but they should be able to handle it defensively today.
There's his first warm-up pitch. You think he's charged up for his first start in the NLCS?
Yes, indeed. There's a look at the wind. It is gusting towards left.
So here we go. Matt Carpenter set to lead it off. He's got 8 hits this postseason. 4 of the 8 have left the park. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports 1. Ball 1. Again, Carpenter, Jay, and Holliday here in the first inning. That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes.
And that was typical Tim Hudson. When he's on, you're going to see that hard sinker, and you're going to get a lot of ground balls. When he's off, you get a lot of fly balls and trouble.
Here's a 1-1. That's downstairs, ball 2.
Yeah, that area, the last couple of pitches. This area right here, that's where Tim Hudson wants to own. The game is won and lost for him there with sinkers, cutters, and splits, whether to righties or lefties.
That's a strike on the outside half. It's 2-2.
Could have left you a little circle up there, Tom.
That's magic for Tim Hudson there. What he wants to do early on is define the strike zone. How far can it go off the plate and get the pitch called? And right here, he likes the response from Jerry Davis.
Matt Carpenter not too happy with the strike zone. For the first hitter here, this ball, he feels like it didn't get back. Watch him wipe the line when he's finished with this swing. This kind of set the precedence. He's painting on both balls. He got the strike 1 and here's strike 3 right on the corner. To the hitter, doesn't look like that.
Now John Jay, who is 3 for 6 in this NLCS with 1 out, nobody on. Ball 1 upstairs. Misses, ball 2, 2-0.
They've been playing John Jay the same way every time. Pablo Sandoval at third base, way in. It doesn't matter if it's in this situation a 2-0 count or whether he's down 0-1 in the count. It's a dangerous proposition.
Jay hits it in the air to left. Back to get it, Ishikawa. And the now everyday left fielder for the Giants has it 2 down. Home plate umpires the crew chief, Jerry Davis, with Mark Carlson at first base, Greg Gibson at second, Bill Miller at third. It's Paul Emmel in left. He was in New York for games 1 and 2. And Bill Welke, who had the plate in game 2 in St. Louis, is out in right. The batter will be Matt Holliday, who is hitless in this NLCS.
You know, we talk about comfort level with a catcher. How about comfort level with an umpire? Tim Hudson, those are 5 career starts with Davis behind the plate, 1 this year.
And don't think that every facet of a game isn't scouted. They know exactly who's going to be behind the plate. And with that familiarity, Hudson knows what he's going to get out of the veteran umpire, Jerry Davis. Here's a 1-0. Strike one.
And Joe, you're so right, too. And even as they're setting rotations and you're wondering how the matchups are going to be, I'm sure they looked ahead and said, game 3, Jerry Davis, Tim Hudson. We like that matchup. We'll go there. Tim, you're throwing game 3. He's a low ball umpire. You got a low ball pitcher. And you can't ask for anything more.
Matt Holliday is a low ball hitter and will await a 1-1 pitch. Cardinals have banged out 11 home runs in 6 postseason games. This to the right side. Panic. Perfect start for Hudson in his first LCS start. Now it's Lackey's turn. Bottom of the first in San Francisco, no score. You got to live Moss. Same look. Gregor Blanco leads it off. Joe Panic bats second. Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, Hunter Pence, Brandon Belt, Travis Ishikawa, Brandon Crawford, Tim Hudson. And there he is, John Lackey, the right-hander who was very good in his only Cardinal postseason start when he was a winner 7 strong in Game 3 in the division series.
He's got more postseason innings than any active pitcher. Pitched in just about any spot, Joe. But how about this? In series when it's tied, as it is now, 3-0 with an 0.96 ERA. The tiebreaker, John Lackey.
Blanco first up. There's his overall postseason numbers, 4 out of 32, and that's a ball from Lackey. Giants have been hard to beat here in their home park since the middle of August. Since the 16th, they're 16-5, hitting almost 300 as a team. Popped up left side. Peralta wants it, and on this windy day, he's got it. One away. Batter will be Joe Panik. Obviously a lot of history for John Lackey with the San Francisco Giants. He appeared in 3 games, made 2 starts against San Francisco in the 2002 World Series as a rookie, and on short rest won Game 7 for the Angels over Dusty Baker's Giants.
I remember that. What a great outing by him that night too, and you're wondering, as young as he was, he's going to be able to handle it.
Panik shoots one into right center. Jay on the run is there for out number 2. He ran a mile to catch that ball in right center.
I tell you what, and the wind knocked that down. This ball, watch how far John Jay goes to get it. See him in center field. He leans to his left, goes back the other way, and lets the ball die. And that's why he overdove it. The wind is blowing hard to left field. He starts to think he's got to really extend on the dive, and the wind just brings the ball back to him. Right here, he's getting ready to go lay. I got to lay out. Nope, it's back on me. Nice reaction, nice play.
And so with 2 out, nobody on, here's Buster Posey. Ball 1 inside.
You can see the wind even blowing on his jersey as he's standing out in center field. It's really gusting the left field.
Posey takes a strike.
This may be the toughest center field in baseball to defend because of the area, and as you said, Harold, because of the wind. The most triples in baseball this year. Triples Alley, they call it.
Here's a 1-1. That's into right field and in front of Gritch for a 2-out single.
You notice Buster Posey's a lot more aggressive. In the second half of the season, he hit almost over 400. Being aggressive, swinging first pitch, second pitch early in the count. That's a ball right down the middle that he's not going to miss. But his problem early in the year was he was letting himself get too deep in counts. 1 and 2. Find himself 0-2. Right here, that's a beautiful picture of a great swing to right field.
And now Sandoval.
What you smiling about, Tom?
It looked like a rubber baseball the way he compressed it. You talk about squaring it up. Textbook.
They love the Panda here in San Francisco. A breaking ball drops in, strike 1. Giants have now gone 158 plate appearances since their last home run. And it was Brandon Belt's game winner in the top of the 18th in Game 2 of the division series in Washington. Check on Posey, who says thanks for the courtesy throw.
Well, the wind was blowing so hard on John Lackey's back. Sometimes the pitcher will just go, hold it, this doesn't feel right. I'll just throw the first little courtesy and change things up a little bit.
Here comes an 0-1. Good rip, but off the hands, and a nice catch right below us. Strike 2. So it's A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. And it's the guy who started the last 83 postseason games for the Cardinals, starting this game on the bench. Strained oblique for Yadier Molina.
It's a big story. A little strange in the fact that he can throw, but he can't swing the bat. And so he's still available to catch defensively if they need him.
Here's an 0-2. Sandoval spoils it.
Saw that stat, 83 straight games. The last time someone other than Molina was behind the plate for the Cardinals in the postseason, the manager, Mike Matheny. Game 3 of the 2004 World Series. And it was the Yachty era beginning with Game 4 of that series afterward.
And it was in that season that man, now the manager of the Cardinals, had a strained rib cage himself. Cardinals got a look at Yadier Molina, and they knew he was going to take over going forward. And Molina came to the Cardinals starting lineup. Matheny came out here as the catcher for the Giants, and the fans gave him a nice round of applause when he was introduced.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Mike before the game about that, and he said, I knew Yachty was going to take over. I was trying everything to stay in the lineup. Didn't work.
Now the 0-2. That's into left field, a base hit. And it's 2 on with 2 out.
What I'm seeing right now from John Lackey, everything's up. And if you're facing John Lackey, you want to get that ball up. Look where here is with Sandoval. Sometimes they try to go up to get him out, but the pitches he fouled straight back were balls that were up. The base hit, the Posey, up. And this is up in the zone, but I'm saying above. When you're facing Lackey, you want to get that ball thigh high and above. And right now, he's leaving the ball up in the zone.
You saw a mislocation there. The pitch prior, yeah, they want to go out of the strike zone way high. That was a mislocation.
And now Hunter Pence has the RBI chance here in the first inning. 2 quiet outs. Nothing shaken until Posey, a base hit to right. Sandoval into left. Pence takes a strike. At 92 from John Lackey, who's making his 18th career postseason start. Big rip, strike 2.
Another ball up.
See how the Cardinals and the Giants have scored in this NLCS to this point. You got the home runs for the Cardinals and the Giants doing it and taking it any way they can.
Yeah, you said, Harold, another pitch upstairs unintentionally. You tell by how much the glove of A.J. Pierzynski has to move to track the baseball.
Yeah, and that warranted a conversation with he and A.J. I think the big thing that they're saying right now is calm down. You know, you get excited, that's when the guy gets the ball up a little bit more than he necessarily wants to. You're up 0-2 now. Execute the pitch and get out of it.
That's down the right field line. It is fair. Posey will score. Sandoval digging to third. They'll hold him there. 1-0 Giants on top.
Great piece of hitting by Hunter Pence. And again, the ball is up on an 0-2 pitch. When I was saying execute the pitch, I was thinking get something down. Look how high this breaker ball is. And Hunter's up there hacking. You're wondering why the guy's swinging the ball like that. You're in the mindset of make him bring it up above those knee knocker things, whatever he's wearing with his pants rolled up. Get the ball up. He's looking for anything up.
That's a two-seamer designed to be down and away. Again, the glove of Pierzynski has to travel a long way because of the mislocation. And this Giants team, Joe, has just been lethal with 2-strike counts in terms of trying to put them away. Cardinals pitchers continue to have a hard time.
Now it's Belt with first base open. Runners at second and third, 2 out. Giants with a first inning lead. Breaking ball misses. Lackey wants to know where, and the count 2-0. Lackey still looking in after that pitch. Instead of strike 1, it's ball 2.
And Pierzynski was having a little conversation with Jerry Davis to get a little more clarification. Where'd you have that? Outside, up?
Well, a lot of times, if you're not consistently living on the corner like we saw Tim Hudson in the first half inning, you're not going to all of a sudden get a pitch on the black when you're missing your zone. Because now it's about presentation. And when your catcher's moving to go catch balls, you're not going to get a lot of pitches because the presentation and how it's presented does not look right.
That's ball 3, 3-0. For the postseason, into this game and into this first inning, the Giants have been hitting 141 with 2 out. Single by Posey, single by Sandoval, a double for the RBI. And now the Cardinals are going to put Brandon Belt on base with the intentional walk and leave it up to Ishikawa.
Well, here's a look at the 3 base hits that they got. Remember, you're facing John Lackey, make him get the ball up. Here's the first one to Posey, up in the middle of the zone. Here's Sandoval, up out of the zone, trying to waste one. He hit it. And here's Hunter Pence, a high breaker ball down the corner that drove in the run. If he doesn't get the ball down, it's going to be a long night, or afternoon, I should say, for John Lackey.
Well, here's Ishikawa, who is 3 for 5 in this LCS. And he's won the confidence of Bruce Bochy to man left field. He wants this bat in the lineup. He hammers one into right. Back is Gritch. At the wall, it is off the wall. All 3 runs are going to score. And it's 4-0 Giants here in the first.
We've talked about center field, right field just as difficult. Watch Gritch. He gives up on the ball thinking it's going to be high off the wall. Look where it hits. The bottom of the wall. Difficult right field. Again, the wind knocking down the baseball. Squared up nicely by Ishikawa. Gritch is thinking that ball is going to carry off the top part of the wall, and instead the wind knocked it down.
He's thinking top of the wall. I'm thinking water. That ball was torched. You saw it perfectly squared up on it. And again, we've been talking about the wind all half inning. And I guarantee you, he gave up on it thinking it's going to be in the seats. And it just continued to blow. And that you watch his eyesight. He doesn't expect it to be down that low at all. And Lackey sees it and says, come on, man, that ball's got to be caught.
That's just inexperience right there. Not familiar with the ballpark.
Well, Gritch is in the lineup for his defense as much as he is for what he can do with a bat. He is head and shoulders a better defender than Oscar Taveras. That's why he's there. And he was fooled by the wind and the angles out in right field.
That's a tough read. It just is.
Now Crawford into left. Holiday is there, but a big first inning for the Giants as they come up with 4 runs on 4 hits. And Tim Hudson has a 4-0 lead. Posey started it. Ishikawa emptied the bases. Bruce Bochy is stuck with Ishikawa, and it pays off here in Game 3. Defense let him down a bit with Gritch in right on what turned into a tough play. That ball, as you said, Harold, was scorched. It scorched into the wind. It held up. And Gritch basically gave up on it. Hit at the bottom part of the wall. Emptied the bases, made it 4-0. And now a 1-0. Adams comes up empty, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, what's tough about that read for Gritch is you got bases loaded. If no one's up and no one's on base, he goes back to the wall and tries to make that catch. Now he's thinking relay, cut off the lead, the second run. Maybe we'll keep it to 2 runs instead of 3 on this ball.
Here's a 1-1 from Hudson. Adams chops it right side. That's Belt. Flips for the out. 1 away.
Watch this. Gritch is looking up. Here's where he gives up. But I noticed the fans upstairs in those seats, nobody was reaching for the ball. They had a good look at it. But what's tough here is that this is Randall Gritch's first game playing defensively in this ballpark. And to play it for the first time with the way the wind is blowing in from right field, that's a very difficult assignment.
And you saw Ishikawa right there. He thought he got it. He stood there, thought he was Reggie Jackson in the throwback years, and decided he was going to watch it. Some of the younger people, maybe Griffey, somebody like that.
You thought it was out, didn't you?
I did.
Here's Peralta, 1 out, nobody on. First 4 have been retired by Hudson. Ball 1 outside. I think anywhere Tim Hudson has been, he was in Oakland, called up in '99, and they knew instantly how good Tim Hudson would be. He was 11-2. Here's one hammered into left, but the wind just knocks that thing down. Ishikawa there for out number 2.
You know, there's not many ballparks in baseball that play like this. You know, Fenway Park, you used to have to throw grass up in between every pitch to see which way it was going to swirl. Maybe you get that in Chicago a little bit. Candlestick years ago was a nightmare to play in. And this ballpark is a little bit problematic today. It changes pitch by pitch, depending on where you're standing on the field.
2 out, nobody on. Here's Colton Wong. Fresh off having his white jersey ripped off his back. His game-winning home run in the 9th inning 2 nights ago. With the bases empty, Hudson brings it and misses with ball 1. He's talking, Gritch is, with Sam Freeman about that play out in right. Strike 2 on Wong.
You know, you can go out there and take some fly balls in batting practice, read balls off the bat, but until game situation and the wind is picked up, even during the day today, see there the split change and that down and away location. Arm side run from Tim Hudson.
Lonely place to be right there.
That's foul. Starting to talk about Hudson, who was so good with Oakland and part of that rotation that was so top heavy with Barry Zito and Mark Mulder. And he moves on to Atlanta, spent longer in Atlanta than he did in Oakland. There's not a guy he's played with that doesn't consider him a great teammate. That's into center. That ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Colton Wong is going to have at least 2, and he's content with a 2-out stand-up double.
Tell you what, we're watching a young man really flowing with confidence now, becoming a breakout player. He just hammers a fastball. After taking a split or a change, however way he wants to do it, he uses them both ways. Swing and miss on that, then laying off on one, then get a fastball and jump it right there. That's a great piece of hitting.
Yeah, that's the difference in Tim Hudson the last couple of years. He's gone with the four-seam fastball up occasionally just because he wants to change hitters' eye levels. Everything down at the knees. He got Peralta on the fastball up. That time Colton Wong said, not this time.
Here's Pierzynski, who was traded here to the Giants back in 2004. Did not have a great year, and he gets that reception. He was expecting it. Maybe not because of what he did, but the players that were given up to get him like Joe Nathan and Francisco Liriano. Two real good players.
Yeah.
And 1 year later, he's gone. Mike Matheny taking his place. Here's a ground ball foul right side. 1 ball, 1 strike.
In 10 years, people. Give it up. Give it up. A couple World Series out of it.
So Pierzynski making his first start since the middle part of September. But he is a postseason vet. Won it all with the White Sox back in 2005. A double by Wong, a late swing and a miss by Pierzynski, strike 2.
Well, when you haven't had any at-bats for a while like AJ, this is the toughest pitch to hit. That split that runs away from you and changes speeds on you. So now all of a sudden you're in a situation where you get this two-seamer running away. Now he comes back with a split or change. It's a tough at-bat for you now.
Pierzynski 8 out of 21 lifetime against Hudson. Backed up at 1-2 and strikes out. Hudson in charge through 2. And the Giants back at home lead 4-0 after an inning and a half. Depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year, the Chevy Silverado. Stop by your local Chevy dealer today. Hudson up there hacking at the first pitch, and off we go in the bottom of the second. Tim was, well, if you want to look at it that way, 0-38 or 2 out of 53 during the regular season swinging the bat. And why not? Trying to jerk one out of here, but it's foul. Strike 2. For the Giants, the most runs they've scored in a postseason first inning since Game 7 of the 1912 World Series.
Amazing. Started with 2 outs and nobody on base.
Another foul by Hudson.
I thought you were talking about the one in 19. Back in 19, what was that, 12?
1912.
1912. I thought that's what you were talking about. That started with 2 strikes. Like, come on, Tom, really? You know that?
That was, by the way, an 8-game World Series because they had a tie in that one. Here's the 0-2. Hudson's turning in a tough at bat. We will hear from both managers during the game. Have a chance to chat with them. Here's a high fly ball into left. Holiday is there. 1 away, and we join Kenny Rosenthal down by the dugout for more on Tim Hudson.
Well, Joe, Tim Hudson in September, 8.72 ERA. He told me that his mechanics were out of whack. He was pulling off left too much toward the first base side. He had to get back on line. But here's the big thing with Hudson. Before that division series start, he had 9 days rest. Before this start, 9 days rest. He told me at this point in his career, the extra time off helps him more than it hurts him.
39-year-old right-hander is through 2 scoreless. He's allowed the 1 hit. And there's a ball from John Lackey, and he's had a couple of stares into Jerry Davis so far in the early going. Blanco fouled out his first time. That breaking ball is a strike, and it's 1-1.
Kenny had some company down there, huh? A little tight. Looked like he was riding a cable car.
Yeah, he's not alone at the end of the dugout. Here's a 1-1 from Lackey. Outside, 2-1.
You know, we talk about fundamentals of the game so much, and one of the fundamentals I've noticed with both these clubs, particularly with the Giants and Blanco, when that after the pitcher hits, he's going to have a long at bat. He's going to take pitches, take a couple strikes, get going. Now there's a 4th pitch to the AB.
And a strike to make it 2-2.
That's so you get that pitcher back and let him rest and get himself right, get mentally ready, particularly when you have a 4-0 lead. The pitcher becomes more important sometimes than your at bat.
With the wind whipping around, time called as Lackey was already into his delivery, and that just another thing to upset John Lackey here in the second. Here's a 2-2. Full count. Whitecaps out there. 80 degrees here yesterday. It's been real warm out here in the Bay Area, but it's chilly, it's windy, and thankfully right now not raining, which was in the forecast. Here's a 3-2. That's strike 3, 2 down. And the first strikeout for John Lackey.
Little backdoor breaking ball. He's able to freeze him.
Nice job by AJ. Watch him just slightly turn the glove. Give Jerry Davis a nice look at it. It's a nice job really stealing a strike that was probably off the plate. And in the interest of full disclosure, John Lackey had Jerry Davis behind the plate once this year. 8 innings, 1 run. Got to give equal time.
Now an 18-mile-per-hour wind. That's the word we're getting. There's a strike and panic.
The difference this inning, too, while he's getting some pitches that may be questionable or not, he's around the glove. He's not reaching 3 or 4 inches to go get a pitch, and now you're going to get strikes.
Little pop-up left side. Room for Carpenter and a 1-2-3 second for John Lackey. 3rd inning rolls in. It'll be Gritch, Lackey, Carpenter coming up for the Cardinals who trail by 4. for the Cardinals with what they've done with the home run ball. 17 of their 23 runs they've scored have come thanks to the long ball. But you get the feeling today that for either team to score runs, they're going to have to chip away. The Cardinals, in this case, down 4-0. Because the ball doesn't look like it's carrying to right, and I don't think the ball's carrying to left either.
No, really deceptive, because the way the flags are blowing, you think it's going to jump out to left field.
Gritch takes a strike.
And I think Tim Hudson may have something to do with that as well. Once again, dotting the I with that pitch to his arm side, down and away.
Skips in, ball one.
Well, we talked about having two veteran pitchers, too. They're going to understand how to make the adjustment with the umpire they have. And Jerry Davis clearly looks like he's going to give you a little bit off the plate. If you're able to put a little bit of the ball in the corner, you're going to get that call. And they've both made that adjustment the last couple innings.
Jerry has umpired well over 100 games in his postseason career. And as I mentioned, he is the crew chief of this group for this LCS. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Gritch left side. Crawford. One away. And on the other side, down on the field in the Cardinal dugout is Aaron Andrews. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Joe. And Yadier Molina trying to keep the spirits here light in the Cardinal dugout throughout this game. But how is he feeling? You know, Mike Matheny put it perfectly. What does a strained oblique feel like? Well, he said it hurts to laugh, it hurts to sneeze, it hurts to breathe. And Yadier telling me today he's in a lot of pain. He says he hasn't slept well at all.
There's Lackey. He takes a strike. We lost Aaron's mic. When you visited with, there she is. Here is an 0-1 pitch. Lackey, strike two. Taking out some of his frustration with that swing. It's 0-2. Mike Matheny told you that Yadier threw the ball really well yesterday. The video we have from earlier today doesn't really show him being able to cut it loose. That's down and away, ball one.
And the thing I found interesting, too, and I think Aaron might have been leading there, was Mike Matheny had an oblique strain himself, so he was able to identify with the pain and everything that you're going through. And you're absolutely right, Joe. He didn't throw the ball.
There's strike three.
The same today as he did yesterday, but I think also maybe knowing that I don't want to warm it up, I just had to see if I could do it. As we get a look at Yadi here, this is 11 o'clock this morning during batting practice. Remember, the game's here at 1 o'clock Pacific time. He's out throwing, not letting it go, but I think more than anything to know that, hey, I can move around. He caught the bullpen, he was able to move a little bit. If they need him, Mike Matheny has made it clear, Tom, he's going to bring him in for defense.
Yeah, to me, it's shocking the way he left the field in game 2 to think he's a possible defensive replacement.
Here's Matt Carpenter, strike one.
The big key there with those obliques, really have no rotational flexibility at all. That's why he's not an option as a hitter. Matheny telling us that behind the plate, receiving, throwing, and of course calling a game, he can do it.
That's outside, a ball and a strike.
You know, I look at Matt Carpenter, Tom, and all I can remember was a story you were telling, I think game 1, when he said, I'm not striking out again. He struck out first at bat, and he was disgusted with the AB.
Yeah, he told that story about Clayton Kershaw last year's postseason.
That's over below, ball 2.
And had that epic 11-pitch at bat that knocked Kershaw out of game 6. I agree. I mean, obviously he's a great contact hitter, terrific 2-strike hitter, but what Tim Hudson doing right now is he's turning the plate into silly putty. He's stretching it horizontally.
And he gets a wide strike there, and the count 2-2.
He's a master. I mean, it's not on the umpire, it's on the pitcher to take advantage of what the strike zone is. And he keeps stretching this zone outside.
And it's not so egregious that, like we saw with Maddox and those guys back in the 90s.
And why not try to go a little further away? The count's full.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the split that he likes with 2 strikes. A little more run and fade on that at 82. Perfectly thrown pitch. Carpenter just doesn't bite.
So with 2 out, nobody on, here comes a 3-2 pitch from the vet, Tim Hudson. Hard hit, hit it to his right. Inning over. Who's coming up? Buster Posey. He got it started in the first inning with a base hit. The leader on this Giant squad. First up, bottom of the third, 4-0, San Francisco. Buster Posey first up, tailing pitch from Lackey, strike one, underway in the bottom of the third inning. 4-0 the Giants lead. Is visited with Bruce Bochy during the break. Clearly his favorite part of his day here on this Tuesday, windy San Francisco, and the count goes to 0-2 on Posey.
Well, just like Hudson's figured it out, so has Lackey. Difference in the first inning, he wasn't able to get the ball down and get that call. Now he's getting it down. He's on the corner.
Here's the 0-2. Chopped to short. Peralta with a backhand and throw to get it. Good play defensively by Peralta and Adams. So here we go. Our visit with Bruce Bochy. It's brought to you by DirecTV. And the first question was about how well Tim Hudson's pitching so far.
He does. He's hitting spots well. The ball's moving quite a bit. He's using his changeup and breaking ball in there too very well. And you know, since he's getting his hit cleared up, he's been a different pitcher. And he's doing a great job so far. Well,
you have stuck with Travis Ishikawa out in left field. He's handled left field just fine, and he came up with a huge hit for you guys in the first.
He did. You know, that's a hit we've been missing for a while, and you know, that's a great two-out rally. Pence had 2 strikes on him and kept the line moving, and he really came through there for us. He's been swinging back well. He's doing a great job in left field. He's been a savior for us.
Appreciate it, Bruce. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
First pitch of ball. Now a big swing by Sandoval. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Bruce Bochy is one of the best guys you can run across in the game of baseball. He lets these guys go play.
He had his game face on, didn't he?
Yeah, he
I don't
did.
think he woke up looking forward to that interview. That's what the legal profession calls a hostile witness.
Now he'll relax and enjoy the rest of the game.
Yeah. Here's a 1-1 pitch from Lackey. Strike 2.
Here's that play with Johnny Peralta. You're probably wondering, why does he end up backhanding this ball? He starts to barehand it the way he approaches it, and then he decides it kicks away, and he's going to barehand to reach back with the glove and backhand it. But he was going to barehand as he was coming in. Strange play, because normally you would not barehand that ball.
Here's a 1-2 to Sandoval. That got it. Sandoval hit by the pitch, and let's see where it caught him.
The breaking ball, he just pulled it, overthrew it, bounced, and hit him in the back leg.
Oh, right on the kneecap. That hurt.
So a chalk go flying, batter's box. Nice shot.
Ouch. Left the mark, too.
So Pablo down to first, talking to Roberto Kelly with Matt Adams standing there. A couple of big bodies at first base, and Adams and Sandoval. Here's Hunter Pence. Hunter had an RBI double and scored a run on the 3-run double by Ishikawa in the first.
That's now 21 straight games Pablo Sandoval in the postseason has reached base. Ties a Giants record. A guy named Bonds, Barry Bonds, 21 straight also.
Start thinking about the history of the Giants. You bring up Mays, McCovey, Bonds you talked about, Jeff Kent. Think about a lot of different, all through the line, through the years. The Alou brothers.
A lot of history.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Lackey. Pence got under it, flies it into center for John Jay. 2 out.
Speaking of history, Harold, you like the Giants home uniforms? You gonna call them dingy? Because they got the throwback cream-colored look.
Yes, they do. I didn't know where you were going with that. At first, I looked at you like, uh-oh, where are we going?
They went to these uniforms in 2000. Old school.
There's old Philippe. Philippe's here today, huh? Felipe Alou. Managed here, played here.
Yeah, these are two organizations that are so rich in tradition in their history. And as belts one into right, Gritch with a nice running catch. These are two organizations that keep the beloved ex-players around. They love being around today's players and today's athletes. Gritch, a nice catch to his left. 4th inning rolls in. Giants on top 4-0. the catch he made in the first.
Well, he went a long way to get it. We were talking earlier about the wind knocking the ball down. He thought he was going to have a full-out dive. Watch how far he goes to get this ball. Read it, took off, went over 100 feet to go get this ball. It's a heck of a catch. Could have been damage, might have been a lot worse had he not caught that ball.
A 4-run first inning for the Giants. Hudson's done the rest, and the first pitch misses. Down and away, ball 1 to Jay, who fly to left his first time up.
I keep waiting for Jay to shoot one right past Pablo Sandoval's ear. Just a bullet past him.
Here's a 1-0. Big swing, a ball and a strike. Sandoval has played in against John Jay a lot in this series already.
Yeah, Jay only had a couple of bunt hits during the season, but you want to take it away, and Sandoval has trouble with those bunt hits, so they need to play him in closer than normal third basemen do.
2-1.
Normal third baseman, you can play back on the grass and still take away the bunt. But Sandoval, not one of his strengths coming in on bunts, so they decide to play him in closer.
Here's a 2-1 from Hudson. 2-2.
And that's exactly what John Jay's trying to do. That's why he's late on these pitches. He's trying to shoot it past the third baseman. Watch how late he takes this ball and just tries to shoot it. Now with 2 strikes, he's backed up. We'll see what happens with the approach at the plate.
Jay leading off. Hits one into left. He hit it over the head of Pablo Sandoval. Ishikawa comes up throwing. Jay slipped going around the bag. And it's a leadoff single. Second Cardinal hit of the day.
This is perfection. This is what he was waiting for. He just didn't get it down. And so it came a couple pitches later. But a great piece of hitting.
That's his natural stroke. He loves the ball away. The Giants really haven't pitched him inside much in this series. You see it hit an oil slick going around first base.
And that's why I don't understand the defense that they have on him, where you're bringing the third baseman. It's playing right into his hands.
Here's Holiday, who grounded out. Diving stop by Panic. His first time up. First time the Cardinals have put their leadoff man on in an inning as Hudson brings it. That's a base hit through the left side. Jay and Holiday with back-to-back singles. 2 on, nobody out.
And you saw Buster Posey set up inside. Hudson can throw the same pitch he's been throwing to lefties. Same area, except this one stays over the plate. The way to pitch Matt Holiday is hard in with run on his hands. That sinker just didn't run in. Nice first pitch hitting by Matt Holiday.
Great start to the 4th for the Cardinals.
There's Dave Righetti, his 15th year as pitching coach here in San Francisco. Hudson has been able to stay away from these left-handed batters. Cardinals have been crushing pitches on the middle part of the plate and in for all these home runs. This one right down the chute, strike 1.
If you're St. Louis, you got to walk away. You're first and second, no outs. You got to get something out of this inning. You know, you're in the 4th. You got to start playing frames the rest of the game. You can't think you're going to get them all in one bunch. But you got to walk away getting one. If you get a bunch, great, but you got to score at least one this inning.
15 home runs during the regular season from Matt Adams. 2 this postseason. That's outside. A ball and a strike.
Well, Adams doesn't hit a lot of ground balls to the left side, but look where Brandon Crawford is right there. Imagine if there's a ground ball somehow gets hit to Sandoval at third. The turn that Brandon Crawford is going to have to make. A difficult angle coming to the bag.
That, and also at the second baseman, he's going to be that pivot guy having to get around too.
Adams into center field. It will carry for out number 1. Throw back into the infield as Adams lines to Gregor Blanco.
A nice piece of hitting, gets a ball down out over the middle of the plate. Hudson's starting to leave some balls out over. The Cardinals are capitalizing. There's 3 balls in a row that have been hit hard. See this ball, Tom? It's sinking, but it stayed out up a little bit for him to handle.
Yeah, got enough run on it. Actually, the best pitch he had was the first pitch of the at-bat, and it looked like either surprised or in take mode that first pitch.
Well, here's Johnny Peralta, and if you're the Cardinals, you're waiting for something out of your, at times, cleanup hitter, and your shortstop, who set a Cardinal record with his 21 home runs, 75 RBIs. He does not have an RBI this postseason.
Yeah, and that's the difference in this game right now. You look at the middle of the Giant lineup, they did damage when they needed to. Come to the Cardinal middle of the lineup, they got to get damage out of Johnny Peralta.
Ball one.
Right now you got to stay disciplined. Hudson's looking for that double play ball, that ground ball where you can get out of it. Peralta doesn't run real well. You got the middle infielders back a little bit deeper than maybe normal double play depth, but you can still turn it on him.
That's ball two, 2-0. '52nd career postseason game for Johnny Peralta. His last 11 hitting under 200. He has only 4 hits this postseason and 20 at bats. That's a strike from Hudson, 2-1.
That was the cutter. That's the pitch. And fastball counts. Designed to stay off the barrel, and this one actually kind of locks up Johnny Peralta. I thought it got a lot of the plate. He wants something better.
That's foul, strike 2.
That's the book on Johnny Peralta. A lot like Matt Holliday, pound in with that sinker. Now he can go back in, or 2 strikes. He really likes the split.
Nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes to cover that pitch sinking away. You know, talking with Matt Carpenter before game 1, he talked about the struggles Peralta had at the beginning of the season. He scuffled and how he never panicked. He was always calm, same demeanor all the time. He's going to need that now. Well, he did a great job of saving that curveball for the out pitch. We saw the splitter, the cutter you're talking about earlier. Look at the break on this, and you can tell by the reaction of Peralta. Look how far out in front he gets trying to hold back on this pitch. It's something that he had not seen. That's, again, varying the speeds on the pitches that he saw. Look at the break on this one. A little bit bigger than what he'd seen earlier.
I guarantee you Johnny Peralta had no idea this was coming. Tim Hudson rarely throws the curveball through, only 2 in his last start against the Nats. Picked a good time to break it out.
Now it's Colton Wong. Doubled his first time. And the confident rookie takes a strike. What a job by Hudson to battle back from a 2-0 count to get Peralta for the strikeout. And here is Wong, 2 for 7 in this series. Here's a fly ball into right. Back at the track, at the wall. It is off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Digging for third is Colton Wong, and it's a 4-2 game. The lead has been cut in half. And the rookie now has a double and a 2-run triple.
Tell you what, I was watching the flight. I said, how is Hunter Pence going to play this ball? Watch the swing by Wong. He gets a ball in the middle of the plate and hammers it. He's hotter than a pistol right now. But as this ball is in the air, I don't know about you, Tom, but I looked to see what was Pence going to do. And he played it for the carom, and Blanco played it for the kick the other way. The experience of this ballpark. Cardinals had to walk away with something, Joe. They got 2 at least to get back in it.
Well, you can just see the routes that these guys are taking out in right field. They don't end up anywhere near the baseball.
You saw that with Hunter Pence, and he's played lots of games here in this ballpark.
Brzezinski grounds to Panic. And the Cardinals strand their second of the game. But they've cut the lead in half. And it's that kid again, Colton Wong. He's got a homer, double, and now a 2-run triple in his last 3 at-bats. 4-2 game. Well, it was Ishikawa who hit a ball in the first inning that was knocked down by the wind. It came with 2 out and the bases loaded and a run home. It was a 3-run double. And at the time we talked about how the rookie Randall Gritch, the right fielder for the Cardinals, gave up on it too soon and took a circuitous route to the ball. And now moments ago we just saw a guy who plays out here in Hunter Pence. This is his home park. Do the same thing in a ball that was hit by Colton Wong. 2 balls that typically would be out that were brought back in by the wind, and we'll show you the routes of the 2 right fielders. After Ishikawa does something, Adams, the big guy to his right, 1 away, and let's go to those 2 replays.
Oh yeah, you called it. Here's the first one. Gritch here. Watch him. Watch how far towards center field this ball is going to hit the wall. The wind is pushing it down and away from him. You figure, okay, it's his first game. How about Hunter Pence? All the experience here. He turns to his left, and the ball is 30 feet to his right. It's an indication of how that wind is blowing, not just knocking it down, but pushing the baseball. And Joe, I think the wind has picked up since the game began. I know this. They called our blimp back to base because it's just too windy up there now.
Yeah. So Lackey, who is settled in, misses with ball one to Brandon Crawford.
Well, he really has. Lackey, the big thing he's done is he's got the ball down. And early on, missing spots, and the Giant hitters capitalize. He's settling in nicely.
Breaking ball, and Crawford gets under it. Good luck. Gritch, no issues here. 2 out. Our interview with Cardinal manager Mike Matheny brought to you by DirecTV. And the first question was about Colton Wong and how hot he is.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job of just staying short. You know, we talked early on with Joe about the bat speed this kid has, but if you trust that, you're giving yourself a chance for just about any pitch, and then just trusting that your hands are going to get to that ball inside. And he's putting good swings on the ball.
You played for the Giants. We see Hunter Pence now take a weird route to a ball in right. We saw Gritch, your rookie right fielder, struggle earlier. It is nasty out there in right field right now.
Yeah, this is a different win than you typically see here. I mean, Candlestick used to see stuff like this, but yeah, I think that's a good point. When you see Pence go after the ball funny, you realize why it was so hard for Gritch to get in a good spot. But yeah, it's going to be tough all day, and hopefully everybody's back in the field.
All right, Mike, thanks. Now Tim Hudson's on with a 2-out single into left. He had only 2 hits all year, and he's had good swings against Lackey here in Game 3.
Well, you're not kidding. If you didn't throw the numbers out there, you wouldn't know he doesn't swing the bat as well as he's swinging it tonight.
Yeah, he was a great hitter at Auburn University. Put up some hitting records there. He can swing it. Just had a bad year offensively.
Old shortstop at Auburn.
Here's Blanco. Gregor struck out his last time, fouled out his first time, and is now 4 out of 34. And we'll say it again, as we did a lot during Game 1. They really miss Angel Pagan, their center fielder, tone setter, leadoff hitter for the Giants. That's up and away for ball 1.
Yeah, for a number of reasons, and also the flexibility it gave Bruce Bochy. It shortened their bench when they had to put Blanco in because he was so valuable. He could play at so many different places. You could double switch. You can make a lot of moves, but you lose that when he has to start games.
Here's a line drive to Peralta off the bat of Blanco. And we move into the 5th inning in Game 3 of this NLCS. Another good one now. 4-2, Giants on top.
piece of hitting by Hunter Pence.
He hammers one into right. All 3 runs are going to score. It was a 4-run first inning for San Francisco, a 2-run 4th inning for St. Louis. Where will you be next time history is made? Check out a season ticket package at MLB.com/season tickets to reserve your seat today. Randall Gritch first up. John Lackey and then Matt Carpenter, the next 2 hitters. It was a 2-out 2-run triple by Colton Wong last inning that got the Cardinals on the board. And now Hudson brings it and gets it by the bat of Gritch, who is now 1 for 8 in this LCS.
See, one of the ways the umpire does not become a story behind the plate is when the pitchers understand what the strike zone is. And they're able to settle in and start hitting the pitches and be consistent. It allows him to be consistent. Whether you like it or not, he's been consistent. That's all you want as a hitter. Okay, he's going to call this, and the pitcher's going to live there. Let's go. Got a game plan. Let's make an attack.
Like, that's a great point. Pitchers and the hitter, they know what the strike zone is right now. So Jerry Davis is the crew chief here at this umpiring group. Goes back to Joe Torre and his theory as a manager. He always thought the 3rd game of a series in the postseason was the most important game. Go back to the '96 World Series. He said his biggest decision was having David Cohn, the veteran, start Game 3 in Atlanta. Crew chiefs normally behind the plate for Game 1. Now it's Game 3.
That's a check swing. Even the count 2-2. You saw a shot of the great Bruce Fleming up here at the press box level. There's Brucey and Eddie Montague. There he is.
What's up, gents?
He's online right now. Fleming is checking out what the Packers did today during practice. The 2-2's down and away, a full count.
You know, one of the things we get is we get a chance to talk with the umpires a lot, and they gave us a great. Ed Montague came in and got a chance to tell us about the ground rules in this ballpark and how they read it. The ball's in here. This is a difficult park. It's got so many things that can happen in here on a ball that flies off a wall.
Here's a 3-2. Gritch chops it foul.
Yeah, that was a long conversation, wasn't it? At Busch Stadium, it took about a minute or 2 just to go over the ground rules, and here it was a monologue.
Well, when you talk about Ed Montague, certainly Bruce Fleming there on the Mount Rushmore of Major League Baseball umpires. Vertical yellow lines on the outfield wall. Gritch strikes out. Chase tie heat, strikeout number 5, and with Lackey coming up, let's learn more about the Cardinal veteran right-hander. Here's Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, in his media session yesterday, Lackey was asked his biggest memory of pitching here in the 2002 World Series. It wasn't anything about his pitching. It wasn't intentionally walking Barry Bonds 3 times. It was his single off Kirk Reeder that loaded the bases in the 2nd inning, leading to David Eckstein's sacrifice fly that gave the Angels a 1-0 lead. Why was it so memorable? It was the first hit of Lackey's career, and frankly, guys, there haven't been many since. He's hitless in his other 4 postseason at-bats, 6 for 58 lifetime.
Here is a 1-0. He's trying, forget the hit. He's trying to ride one out of here.
See, Ken, he heard that report, and he said, let me show Rosenthal. I got a little pop, too. Look at him swinging for the downs on a ball away.
Now 1-1 from Tim Hudson. Strike 2. Hudson has Lackey set up for strikeout number 6.
I really feel sorry for those guys who come up in American League franchises and then have to hit into major leagues and try to hit major league hitting.
Here's a 1-2. He was taken all the way and it missed. 2-2.
Because a lot of times you're going from a guy, the last time he was a hitter, may have been in high school when he was 18 years old. Then you go through the minors, you play in the big leagues, and all of a sudden, hey, you're going to hit major league pitching tomorrow. What?
Here's a 2-2. Well, the intensity that Lackey brings on the mound, he's bringing with him to the plate.
How do you like that two-strike approach? He's getting his money's worth.
Now, Huddy better quit messing around with him on the inside. Just go back out there and let him try to think he's going to pull a ball out of the seats, and you'll get him out.
39-year-old right-hander pitching to the 35-year-old right-hander, about to turn 36. With one out. That got him on the arm, and so with all that, the effort by Lackey to not mail in that at bat, he's on with one out, and the tying run will come to the plate.
Tell you what, this is a great at bat by Lackey. The ball comes back and clearly brushes the elbow. You know, Tim Hudson got a base hit off him, and he went up there determined to make something happen back at him. And now all of a sudden, you got the tying run at the plate.
I guarantee you Hudson's chapped about that one. Facing the pitcher, he knows he has it out in order, especially 2 strikes. No walks and only 4 hits to pitchers all year long. That one hurts.
First time Lackey's ever been hit by a pitch in the big leagues. That one won't even leave a mark. Just grazed his elbow. Now Carpenter, who's got 4 home runs this postseason, takes a strike. Going to take something extra special to get the ball out of here today into right, like what Bryce Harper did in Game 4 of that divisional series, and that ball he hit off Strickland.
I'm curious what Carpenter's thinking this at bat. He hit a ball up the middle that Panic made a nice diving play on and threw him out of first base after he struck out the first at bat.
He went around. That's strike 2.
This is one of those check swings where the ball is right at the bat, right below Jerry Davis's eyes. So you don't have a problem with that as a hitter. When you go check swing on that one, you don't really need help. He sees the ball and the bat on that swing because it's right in front of him.
One on, one out. Back to Hudson. To second out. On to first. Double play. And just like that, the hit by pitch is erased. Halfway through it. Game number 3 of the NLCS behind Hudson. Thanks to a 4-run first inning with these guys coming up. Giants lead 4-2. The #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with every pitch. You get highlights, replay, reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the At Bat app for your smartphone or tablet. Here's Panic. Breaking ball in for a strike from John Lackey, who had the rough start, couldn't get the ball down. The Giants jumped all over him with 4 runs in the first inning. Only 1 hit since. That's foul. Let's go back to that double play.
Well, this is textbook. Watch Tim Hudson catch the ball. Watch how quick he gets it to the shortstop. He's going to get it to Crawford before he even gets to the bag. Now he can make the adjustments that are necessary for him to do. What a turn. What a play. That's his reaction and his wife's reaction. And the kids.
Kim. Here's a fly ball into left. Late break Holiday, but he recovers, staggering all the way in for out number 2. Tonight, Game 3 of the ALCS. They were rained out last night, featuring the Orioles and the Royals on TBS. And tomorrow, Game 4 of that series at 4 Eastern on TBS. Then our NLCS coverage on Fox Sports 1 continues. Game 4 of this series beginning at 7:30 Eastern. That's tomorrow night. Here's Posey. Strike 1.
John Lackey's done a couple things since that first inning. He went to the breaking ball a little bit more. It allowed him to really get into a nice rhythm and settle in.
Left side. Time for Peralta. 2 out.
Yeah, you're right, Harold. I think he came out of the game initially with a game plan of 4-seam fastballs up. Many more sinkers now here after that first inning. And good ones.
Now you think the one guy you want to throw up to is Pablo Sandoval. He already hit a ball into the corner the opposite way. But we've watched what he can do on balls down in St. Louis. He's just covering everything right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not in the entire category of Vladimir Guerrero, but a guy that seems to be able to hit the ball really wherever you put it. That's ball 1.
I mean, Vladdy, go back to even Kirby Puckett. You know, a guy that's going to swing from toes to head and hit a ball hard. It's one thing to swing at him, but it's another thing to handle any pitch and be able to hit it hard.
Just born to hit. Switch hitting Sandoval takes a breaking ball down on the count 2-0.
And we've seen more of this, Joe, where he gets himself into hitters' counts. He swung the bat more often than anybody in baseball. The percentage of pitches that he swings at. But I'm telling you, this postseason, he's been much more patient.
Two and 1.
And that's the other thing we've seen. He knows when to let a bat fly in certain situations and when to guide a ball to drive in a run. You know, we hear the phrase professional hitter all the time. He knows right here, 2-0, I'm letting the dog fly. You know, and we've watched that a couple times already in this series. And other times, take it the other way and get the knock.
Letting the dog fly.
Yeah.
Here's one to the shortstop, Peralta. Oof. The inning is over. It will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Cardinals in the 6th. And that includes Matt Holliday, who's coming off a hit, his first of this series, his last time up. 4-2 Giants. He has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. He struck out 5, hasn't walked anybody, but he's got the big bats of Jay, Holiday, and Adams coming up. 4-2 game and a strike starts the 6th.
This again is one of my more intriguing ABs of the game. I just look at how Pablo Sandoval's playing him, and every time he seems to come up to lead off an inning, at least in this game.
Pulled in at third. Jay goes the opposite way again. Tying run will come to the plate, Matt Holliday, and we take you now to Erin Andrews.
And I'm with Kim Hudson and her son, Cade, nice enough to let me do this interview while her husband's on the mound. Hey, Cade, let me ask you, how long has it been since your dad's advanced, as your mom said, to the next round?
16 years.
Yeah, as you love to point it out. Kim, of course. What's that? Oh, and Cade's 9. Kim, of course, pointed out on her Twitter, which was a great follow. Look who finally made it past the first round when the Giants won the NLDS. You showed me your fingers covered with Band-Aids from when Madison Bumgarner pitches. What is it like watching Tim go today?
It's nerve-wracking. I mean, we believe in him so much, but it's so nerve-wracking, and you just sit here. It's like watching a train wreck, you know? Like,
what?
Even though he's doing great, it's like there's nothing you can do. So Madison brought me some Band-Aids just in case, you know, Tim had a little hairy time, but we're doing good. We're happy.
You're happy. All right. Well, you guys enjoy. Thank you for letting me bug you. Thank you.
You will?
All right.
Here's Holliday with strike 1. Action for the Giants guys out in their bullpen.
Yeah, and I was going to say, this is his biggest challenge right here. Matt Holliday, nice little sinker. He's trying to get a ground ball, but these are the 2 guys that started the rally last half inning, or a couple innings ago when the Cardinals scored 2.
It was Holliday's first hit. He's now 1 for 10 in this series. Chop to third. Sandoval will get Holliday, and down to second is Jay. 1 out.
Interesting decision right here by Sandoval not to go to second base. Maybe you open an inning up if you happen to go there and he's safe.
I think he had a little issue with the transfer here. Take the safe out. Hudson's stuff still looks good, Harold. I think he still has the sink on the baseball. And whether he said something to Bruce Bochy about getting somebody ready behind him.
It's amazing how many things go through your head when you're charging the ground ball. And you saw him look to second. You could be right. Didn't feel good about the throw. I'm going to go to first.
Well, now Matt Adams, who's 0 for 2, hit the ball hard line to center his last time up. Runner at second. Big shift on the infield with panic in shallow right. Ball 1 down and away.
And Joe, I think also, I think about the play with Sandoval. When you play all summer like the Giants do, close games, and you understand your bullpen can shut people down, you start playing for outs. You don't want to open up big innings. And to get an out there instead of maybe forcing a play at second base, throw it away, or he's safe, now you're first and second, no outs.
Lopez and Machi getting ready. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Adams. Strike 1.
I just wonder if for Tim Hudson this feels any different. You heard Kim talk about waiting 16 years to get to the LCS. Obviously a lot of division series experience. No pitcher ever made more starts getting to the LCS, waiting for an LCS start than Tim Hudson.
Adams to the right side, belt to the bag. Over to third is Jay with 2 out. And the Cardinals will again ask for something out of their shortstop, Johnny Peralta, who is 1 for 7 in this LCS.
Tell you, we always talk about on defense how the ball will find you. When you're struggling offensively, the situations will find you as well. And here's another one.
He's flying to left, hit that ball pretty hard, struck out his next time. With 2 on and 1 out. Runner at third, Peralta, ball 1 inside.
Boy, John Jay coming down hard down the third baseline. With Hudson throwing all the sinkers and balls in the dirt, he's hoping for a pass ball. He's anticipating it. He's ready to go if the ball kicks away and goes. You do that only because Peralta's been struggling as well. Other than that, sit there and let him hit all day.
Left side, Sandoval can't get to it. Hops over his glove. It's a one-run game. And Peralta's got his first RBI of this postseason.
Now, I'm going to tell you what, because of John Jay's aggressiveness on the first pitch down the line, it caused Sandoval to have to move over closer to him. And now, all of a sudden, it picks up a game of inches, folks. It picks up another foot for him to have to travel to go get this ball with Peralta. He was playing further towards the middle, but because John Jay went down the line, he had to move over a little bit towards the base.
Bad hop that got over Sandoval's glove, and with Kim watching, Tim has seen this close down to a one-run game. And now Wong. Ball one again. Colton Wong, his last 3 at bats, he's gone homer, double, 2-run triple.
He's feeling pretty good, isn't he?
Has 11 home runs as a second baseman this season, the most all time by a Cardinals rookie second baseman. Tying run is on as the count goes to 2-0, and Marco Gonzalez, the left-hander, goes down to get loose.
And I don't know. I can understand why he's 2-0, Joe. I don't know how to get this guy out right now. We've seen him cover all different pitches in all different quadrants of the strike zone. The home run off Romo on the changeup, the curveball off Hudson earlier in this series, previous series, a home run on a fastball from Kershaw.
Big swing on 2-0.
Yeah, he's feeling froggy right now, too. He spit on the pitch before, and watch this. He is going to go get a ball out and let it fly.
Look at that tremendous bat speed. He's a guy who hits himself in the back on this follow-through. He's got so much bat speed, the best on the team.
He's 5'9", and his main hitting coach is his father. A Hawaiian-born infielder, first-round pick. Hits the ball in the air to center. Blanco to his right to end the inning. Tim Hudson gets through the 6th. High fives for Kim. Is Tim finished? We'll find out soon enough. Bottom of the 6th. It's a 4-3 game. Another good game, another one-run game now. It's 4-3, breaking ball, strike one, Hunter Pence.
Again, the breaking ball for Lackey. That's the difference from the first inning to now. Give him a lot of credit, man. He really battled to keep around this game. It didn't look good early.
Walked off the mound after the first inning. So frustrated. That ball is fouled left side. And the count 0-2 on Hunter Pence. But you're right. John Lackey is settled in. MLB fans, join the biggest seventh inning stretch with your best take me out to the ball game. It might be featured in Game 4 of the World Series. Go to T-Mobile.com/thebig7th. Here's the 0-2 to Pence. When the Cardinals made that deal with the Boston Red Sox, it served two purposes. One, it helped fortify the Cardinals' rotation and give them a big game type pitcher like John Lackey, who proved in the division series he's still worthy of that title, and I think is proving it again here this afternoon as he gets a strikeout, his second of the day. He gets Pence to start this sixth inning. It also was supposed to open up room for Oscar Taveras to play on a regular basis in the outfield. They gave him exposure. He hit only 3 home runs. He's now on the bench. But by giving up Allen Craig and Joe Kelly, they got this guy, John Lackey, and he's looked good in the 2 postseason starts.
Joe, I don't think they're here without him, because remember, at the time, you had Michael Wacha with his injured shoulder, and you had Adam Wainwright going through his dead-on period. They're still now they're concerned about the workload on his arm the last couple of years. Saw a shot in the bullpen there. I think John Lackey knows at this point, 2 up third in the bottom of the inning, working on his last inning in this game to try to keep it at 4-3.
I'm amazed at the turnaround, because the first inning he struggled so bad. He was all over the place. Even the second. Not even the same pitcher.
That's strike 2.
And I really believe it's the curveball that made the big difference. All of a sudden it allowed him to sit back, not be so amped up. A lot of times guys overthrow early. I don't care how many years you've been playing. You get excited to be here with an opportunity to advance your club to the World Series.
Still 1-2.
We're looking at 2 really different pitchers. They're both aggressive veteran pitchers, obviously, Hudson and Lackey. Lackey, I've always felt tremendous natural ability to spin the baseball. We see the breaking balls and his fingers coming on the outside of the baseball. Tim Hudson more naturally has his fingers on the inside of the baseball and fades the sinker. And he's actually learned how to spin it with the cutter like Lackey.
Another strikeout for Lackey, back-to-back to start the bottom of the 6th.
Once again, the breaking ball.
You know, we
Watch
talked.
his fingers on the outside of the baseball, spin it around. His fingers spin the baseball, and again, great location.
You know, A.J. Pierzynski caught 20 games with Lackey in Boston, and I think the conversation they had when A.J. went out early on when he was struggling, the big inning, has really paid dividends as you move forward. And they also get to spend time in between. They knew that they were possibly going to have this on the flight the other day out.
After Molina got injured in the 6th inning of Game 2, now a strike to Ishikawa, who has the biggest swing of the day for the Giants, a 2-out, 3-run double in the first.
That's a great point, Harold, that he's actually thrown more to Pierzynski than to Yadier.
And he can strike out the side here in what is most likely his final inning of work. Meanwhile, the bullpen is quiet for the Giants. It looks like Hudson's going to go back out there for the 7th. There's the turnaround after a rough first for Lackey.
Tell you what, and you think about it, that ball doesn't give Randall Gritch so much trouble on that fly ball. If he's able to catch that, they're out of the inning with 1 run.
Saw John Lackey right there, just had a conference on the mound with himself.
He was rather heated. That last fastball missed at 92. And a defensive 2-strike swing by Ishikawa. It'll be Pierzynski, Grichuk, and then we'll see if it's Lackey or a pinch hitter in the 7th.
Lackey has made only 5 career starts with Yadi behind the plate since that trade. Actually made a third of his career starts with one of the Molina brothers behind the plate.
That would be Benji.
And Jose. Benji, Jose, and Yadi have all caught John Lackey. I'm not including Gustavo Molina, who has caught John Lackey.
Oh, stop it.
No relation.
Really? Look at you, man.
How many
Encyclopedia.
pitchers?
Right side. Wong doing it with his bat, now his glove, and the inning is over.
Yeah, don't hit it to him, man. He is too high.
He is feeling it. Colton Wong. Bottom three in the order coming up for St. Louis after Wong makes this play. Another good one. In the 2014 postseason, Giants lead by 1. Giants, that's the most important line, the score. Giants had a 4-run first inning. Wong still red hot. The two veteran right-handers going at it. Both have been very good. Ball one to A.J. Pierzynski from Tim Hudson, and Hudson's got help right behind him in the bullpen with Affeldt getting loose.
Yeah, this is real interesting. We'll see how long they stay with Hudson.
Pierzynski into the gap in left center, slicing to Ishikawa. One away. And it has been fun to watch Tim Hudson battle here this afternoon, and the same can be said for John Lackey.
No doubt. I love the way the adjustments Lackey was able to make. I think Hudson's getting to the end of the rope. They're trying to stretch him there. That ball's hit pretty hard. But this is the part of the game I love when it gets to the strategies. Let's see what the managers do moving forward.
Yeah, both veterans really impressive. Had one intentional walk, otherwise no free passes. And Hudson right now to me is batter by batter. Somebody gets on base, he's out of the game. Until then, it's his game.
Here's Gritch. He hammers one down the line. It is gone for the home run, and it's a tie game here in the 7th. A blast off the bat of Gritch. And the Cardinals have now climbed out of that 4-run first inning hole.
I really thought that Hudson was wiggling through at the last half inning and didn't have a whole lot. And Przinsky drilled that ball in the left field corner, and then Gritch with the home run. That ball was torched. I mean, he got a hanging breaking ball, and I mean, he smoked. It looked like a split that maybe hung in the middle of the plate.
And right off the pole, fair ball. That's it for Hudson. So with that crisp sound of baseball hitting bat, the day is over for Tim Hudson in his first LCS start. They were trying to get him through one more batter, maybe two, and now Bochy's going to go to his bullpen. With Descalso announced as the pinch hitter, we'll have a double switch.
The National League for you. You always try to extend it so you don't have to the pitcher spot coming up. You want to not waste a player. Didn't work out.
Hudson gives up the game-tying home run to the rookie Gritch. 4-4 in the 7th. With one out in the top of the 7th inning, has his second postseason home run. And after giving up 4 runs in the first inning, John Lackey's off the hook. And the Cardinals have tied game 3. That is it for Tim Hudson. Double switch as Juan Perez takes over in left field for Ishikawa. And Descalso on the first pitch from Affeldt. 2 out in the inning.
Affeldt is the go-to guy. Doesn't matter left or right. But Joe, what is going on with these Cardinals in the 7th inning? I mean, if you were writing this as a TV serial show, they'd say it's too formulaic. Same thing's happening. 7th inning, the home run ball.
8 of the 12 Cardinal postseason home runs have happened in the 7th inning or later, and the majority of the damage has happened in the 7th.
It's really remarkable.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's it.
Okay.
I don't have any more.
Here's a strike to Matt Carpenter.
I was laying out in case when he didn't deliver the pitch. I wanted him to deliver it and see what happened. You know, you never know. He might run into one. I want you to call the home.
It is the 7th inning.
Carpenter's 0 for 3, bounced into a double play.
And then you called me on it.
If I can't call you on stuff, I can't call anybody else. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tell you, these games are incredible. You know, you think we might have our first blowout when this game started. The way the Giants came out the chutes, put 4 up in the first, and they looked great. Lackey settled it down, kept it close. He kept fighting.
Yep, he gets a lot of credit.
Does.
That's in for strike 2.
So impressed too with Randall Gritchick. When you think about the deal the Cardinals made to get him from the Angels, really Peter Borges was the centerpiece. Then you had, as you said, Joe, Oscar Taveras was supposed to inherit right field. That's Randall Gritchick, who's emerging in this postseason.
That makes it 2-2. 7 of the 8 Cardinal home runs in the 7th or later have tied or given the Cardinals a lead. So these aren't pile-on, meaningless home runs just for stats. These are game-changing home runs. Wong has 2 of them.
They do a great job making adjustments. It seems like it's always the 3rd at bat off that pitcher. They're able to capitalize before the other manager gets him out of the game.
Now full count on Carpenter.
I love this guy. There's just a competitiveness to him that you just don't teach. Strikes out the first at bat, and I just go back to the story you told earlier about Kershaw. I'm not striking out again, and I saw that mindset in this guy after the first at bat today. You just knew he was going to try to be battling, put the ball in play. Here is another full count.
He's on with a base hit.
Amazing.
First base hit of the day for Matt Carpenter. Now 1 for 4, and after getting 2 strikes, he got this on a 3-2 pitch.
There are just certain guys who come around that you just know when they lock in, you're not going to beat them. The concentration is amazing. And what is so great about a short season like a postseason, you don't have to worry about 162 games. You just crystallize that for a 3-week period of time.
Now John Jay, who has had no issues with left-handed pitching really all year. Hit .375 during the regular season, and whether it's been Kershaw or really anybody that he's seen, even if he doesn't come up with a hit, he hangs in and gets great swings.
They keep pitching him away, and that's where Affeldt likes to go with the sinker and the curveball, right into his happy zone.
Chops one right side, panic. Makes the play. But the Cardinals have tied it. They trailed 4-0 after 1. It's now a 4-4 game. Time to stretch. Tonight, Game 3 of the ALCS, Orioles and Royals at 8 Eastern on TBS. Tomorrow, Game 4 of that series at 4 Eastern on TBS. Then our NLCS coverage on Fox Sports 1 continues. Game 4 of the series beginning at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night. And there's your pitching matchup with Shelby Miller, the young right-hander, Ryan Vogelsong, the veteran right-hander for the Giants. Now for the introduction of God Bless America, we go to PA announcer Rennell Brooks-Moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps as we honor America and our troops here at home and around the world. Here now to perform God Bless America, please welcome retired San Francisco Police Sergeant Jerry Darcy.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
in a 4-4 game. Wind is picked up. 15 miles per hour to 22 miles per hour on a 65-degree day here on October 14th. Game 3 of the NLCS. Here's Marco Gonzalez taking over.
I'd say past the Dramamine.
It is rough out there on the water. Ball one outside to Brandon Crawford. Will be followed by Juan Perez and then Gregor Blanco here in the 7th. The rookie left-hander. This is outside 2-0.
How about the confidence Mike Matheny has in this rookie left-hander? Getting the high leverage spot. Shown absolutely no nerves in the postseason.
The 22-year-old brings it and gets a strike.
You know, one of the things, too, is to put a guy in a situation where he can be successful. And the other day, when they had the bases loaded and he brought Manis in to get the final out, he didn't go to Marco Gonzalez. He said, I didn't want to put the kid in that situation. He hadn't been there yet. He's been in this situation before and had success.
From the Denver area, made his major league debut in a game at the Rockies. And he handled that pretty well. But Gonzalez really is starting to figure it out at this level. From Fort Collins, Colorado. Pitched at Rocky Mountain High School. He was the starter and winner for the state championship game as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior.
Wow.
That's fouled out of play, and just for good measure, his senior year, Marco Gonzalez can really hit. He popped a 3-run home run to break that game wide open. So Gonzalez, he's into this spot here at 22 years old on the road, game 3 of the NLCS. After falling behind 2-0, he's evened it at 2-2. Crawford pops it up into left. Holiday. One down, and we talked a lot about Lackey really settling down in this game.
Yeah, if it's not for John Lackey, they're not in this ball game. Started off a little shaky. First inning, everything was up. Buster Posey base hit. Panda out of the zone. He just chases anything. And Pence out of the zone for a knock. But everything was up. He made the adjustment. How? Curveball down. His little sinker down. But all of a sudden he started getting his pitches down. And he was able to get through the rest of this ball game to put them where they're at right now. Tremendous adjustment by those two guys that are talking, Brzezinski and Lackey.
Gonzalez features a great changeup. Juan Perez came up empty, strike one.
Yeah, this is the one right-hander in a sequence of 4 hitters, but you're right, that changeup, the equalizer.
Back-to-back with him, and particularly the first pitch. When you got a guy like Perez, his first AB in the game, he's looking for that first pitch heater, and he's swinging. To throw a changeup and get the swing and miss, perfect.
2-1.
3 changeups in a row.
It's been 181 straight plate appearances for the Giants since their last home run. And that was the Brandon Belt home run to win game 2 in the 18th inning in Washington. Here's a 2-1. In the air to center. Jay stalks it. 2 out.
Well, it's funny. It's almost like watching a basketball game when somebody can shoot a 3 and you keep shooting 2s. And the Cardinals have been able to shoot the 3-pointer, and the Giants, clearly with not being able to hit the long ball, have been scoring 2s. It's tough to keep up.
Now it's Blanco, 2 out, nobody on. It's Blanco, the lefty, and then Panic, the on-deck hitter, the lefty. And some Golden State Warriors are in attendance with Larry Baer, one of the great administrators in the game of baseball, right there. In front with the San Francisco Giants. The guy in the front of that luxury suite to our right is David Lee, who went to high school in St. Louis and now plays for Golden State.
David Lee, and you got Steph Curry right there. Look at them. Look like they just came from practice. They got on their gear and everything. Warriors, come out and play.
2 out, nobody on. Here's the 0-1. That's strike 2.
When do you see NBA players walk around with their gear on?
You just don't.
You see it in high school. You know, the football players wear their varsity jackets to the basketball games.
Usually tall enough, people assume they're in the NBA. The lead is massive. 2 out, nobody on. Blanco took a ball to count 1-2. In the 8th inning, St. Louis will have the 3, 4, 5 hitters: Holiday, Adams, and Peralta. How about Marco Gonzalez? Has a 1-2-3 7th inning. Typically a starter. Now in the bullpen. That decision for Mike Matheny has paid off. 4-4 through 7. By T-Mobile, changing the game of wireless. The Geico in-game box score for the Cardinals: Carpenter has a hit, John Jay 2 more. The big one, Randall Gritch, a solo home run that tied it in the 7th. Colton Wong at it again with a double and a 2-run triple. 4-4 game. 8th inning now, and Matt Holliday first up against Affeldt. Ball 1, and that caught Jerry Davis.
To me, Joe, this is the key at bat here in this inning. Good low ball hitter against the sinker ball pitcher. Holliday with some numbers off of Affeldt. 2 for 7 with a walk. Behind him, Affeldt handled Adams and Peralta. 2 for 16. Romo was throwing in the bullpen. Thought maybe they'd go there for Holliday. This is the key matchup right here for me. Affeldt on Holliday.
Romo getting loose. Adams and then Peralta the next 2. Right side, panic to his left. So solid. 1 out.
I like how he keeps his feet moving. You play defense with your feet. Puts you in the right position, softens your hands, everything. This is a chopper, and he catches it on a little in-between hop, but because he continues to keep moving, it allows him to catch the ball on the hop and be able to make the throw. That's a beautiful play.
Here's Adams. 0 for 3. takes a ball.
Yeah, Tom, I think you're right. This is the guy, Holiday, that is, that they were more worried about probably with the matchup. Right here is the one they're comfortable with, that they felt that getting to Adams.
I was watching Romo throwing in the bullpen prior to this inning. He actually started walking in. Wasn't sure whether he maybe thought he was in the game for Holiday or walking back to the dugout. And they turned him around and said, no, stay warm. Keep throwing.
Here's a 2-0. That's a foul ball. Caught him on the foot. Meanwhile, Matt Adams had that 7th inning 3-run home run off Clayton Kershaw in Game 4 of the division series. We talked about this last inning. With 7 of the 8 Cardinal home runs in the 7th or later have tied or given the Cardinals the lead this postseason. They had 7 game-time or go-ahead home runs in the 7th inning or later all regular season. They've matched that here in the postseason as they're playing their 7th game. That's in the air to center. Blanco coming to get it, and what a catch. 2 out.
Well, this is when Blanco shines. He's used to playing late inning defense. He goes a long ways to get this ball. See where he's at? He's react. He gets the jump and off and flying. And the beauty of the slide is if he misses that ball, it's going to hop up and hit him is the hope that you have. But he gets underneath it, able to make the catch. It's beautiful.
Affeldt appreciates it, and with that catch, Affeldt gets to stay in to face Peralta. Ochi trying to squeeze one more out of Affeldt, and a good rip by Johnny Peralta.
You might be thinking about that little youngster over there on the on-deck circle too. Maybe if you keep Peralta in the ballpark. There's one thing talking to Bochy about the home run the other day with Adams. So if we keep him in the park, I don't have a problem with it. And I think very similar here because he's got Colton Wong on the on-deck circle.
That's into right center field. Well hit. Blanco to his left. He's there to end the inning. On a windy day here in San Francisco, Game 3 of this NLCS is tied at 4 into the bottom of the 8th.
smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on.
He went down amongst the people. They love him here. Steve Perry, the original frontman for Journey.
Dude, that's pretty cool to watch.
That was great.
Crowd loved it.
Bottom of the 8th inning, a 4-4 game. Panic. Posey, Sandoval, Neshek on the mound. Wrecked, caught, one away.
You notice they didn't have him standing on the line. You know, late in games you often see take away the double. It's close, but he's not on the line. This ball's right at him. If he's on the line, he's going to have to come back, maybe dive for this ball. Perfect positioning. Here's what I like, Joe. We're at that point now in the series where you learn where guys are going to hit the ball on certain matchups, and your positioning really starts to take over.
Well, look at the difference now. Adams way off the line with Buster Posey at the plate. 1 out, nobody on. Tie game, 8th inning. Posey, strike 1. And he was trying to pump one out of here.
Sure was. I'm still amazed they haven't hit a home run in that long of a period of time. Between Posey, Sandoval, Pence, they got a few guys that can run into one.
The 0-1. That funky delivery of Neshek. He misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Funky delivery. The Giants trying to solve him on the fly. Really, they don't have many career at bats against Pat Neshek. Mostly an American leaguer in his career. Posey just 0 for 2.
Used to reside on the other side of the Bay Bridge. The A's in a good spot. Strike 2.
Great location, great movement. You see Buster looking in. Here's the nasty motion that's coming at you.
Now choke. Pierzynski can't hang on. Posey 1 for 3. Singled in the first inning, scored a run. .22 home runs during the regular season. Reaching for it to spoil it with 2 strikes.
Well, those last 2 swings by Buster Posey. You know, we talk a lot about nice piece of hitting when someone gets a base hit. How about a nice piece of hitting on a foul ball? He's done the last 2. The 2-seamer in and that one away just to get himself to another pitch.
And that's what the great hitters will do. They'll foul pitches off because hitters hit mistakes. You don't hit great pitches, you hit mistakes.
Popped up right side. Ridgick. Nothing's routine out there. 2 out. A reminder, fans, upload your best. Take me out to the ball game, and you might be featured in Game 4 of the World Series. Go to T-Mobile.com/the-big-7. There you go. And with 2 out, nobody on, the batter will be Pablo Sandoval.
And what I mean by that, Joe, is you foul off certain pitches, and yeah, you're going to hit a mistake every now and then, but you're going to make your living on mistakes. You might hit a great pitch every now and then, but mistakes are where the big moments are made.
There are only a few guys who can hit the best pitchers' best pitches. A guy like Miguel Cabrera is in that category. Here's a strike at 70 miles per hour to Sandoval.
Well, you talk about defending the lines. The gaps in that infield for Sandoval right now, huge. Both on the right side because Adams hugging the line at first, and on the left side with Carpenter.
Big rip, strike 2. Right field is almost empty down the right field line. If Sandoval would pull something down there.
Well, if he gets a better pitch than that, Joe, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, he missed his pitch right there.
A lot of room out in right. Count 0-2. Wong, Pierzynski, and Gritch for the Cardinals in the ninth. That's ball one.
You know, when you play in a ballpark where the ball doesn't carry, you learn the old school teaching of make him beat me the other way. He hits a home run the opposite field to tip your cap. You know, there's so many other ballparks that have come into play now in Major League Baseball. The guys can hit balls out of anywhere. This place, you have to square it up. We've seen that today. So make him beat you the other way.
Just floats it in, missing at 70 with ball two. Choate is ready to go, but the earliest Matheny would go to him is with Belt. He's 2 batters away.
On the other side, Casilla, the closer, gets up in a tie game at home for the 9th inning. On the road, you see the setup men.
That's right at Carpenter. You talk about positioning. He didn't have to move except drop his glove, and Sandoval can't believe it. A floating pitch and then a floating soft line drive caught by Carpenter, and a perfect 8th by Neshek.
Positioning. We're at that point in the series where you have a really good idea where somebody's going to hit the ball.
Let's go to the 9th inning. In game 3, tied at 4. The numbers are stunning for Santiago Casilla, and when you look at what he's done since reclaiming the closer spot for the Giants, as he takes over here in a tie game 9th inning dealing with Colton Wong. He finds strike one. Realize this is a guy who has not, forget run, not allowed a hit in over a month.
10 straight innings without allowing a hit. And look who's up with his gear on in the bullpen. Yadier Molina.
Wong. Strike 2.
Well, with Pierzynski up next and the pitcher spot following Pierzynski, you double switch Molina maybe with the pitcher his spot.
If the Cardinals were to get the lead, Mike Matheny clearly is showing by sending Molina down there that the change that would be made is they'd walk out of that bullpen in tandem, Rosenthal and Yadier Molina.
Yep, and you put Molina in Brzezinski's spot, put the pitcher in the pitcher's spot, and you're good to go.
Here's the 0-2. That's foul down the left side.
It's still an amazing sight after what we saw the other night. Personally, I thought no way is he coming back. We've seen enough oblique injuries, even in this season alone, to have him back in uniform and now ready to play. It blows my mind.
Casilla dealing with a red-hot rookie, Colton Wong. Line drive caught by Panic. One away.
You're going to get a hit, you better hit it in that gap, because there's going to be somebody standing in front of a line drive. We're just at that point. Positioning's great, the pitching's fantastic, and everybody's catching the ball.
And now the greeting for A.J. Brzezinski.
Now Casilla knows, has to be careful first pitch. Brzezinski loves to jump on first pitches. You almost have to approach it if it's 0-1, 0-2 right here.
He's got 5 career postseason home runs against right-handed pitching, and there he is, Tom.
You saw the look on his face. He got the pitch he was looking for. AJ does not concede strikes. Pitches in the zone. He will not concede early in a count. Just missed it.
Hitless today. Hit the ball hard his last time up.
You know, all the antics with AJ and the reputation, you forget how good a player this guy is. He's had a heck of a career. He's turned himself into a really good major league player.
No doubt about it. Played for a long time. To the right side, 0 for 4 on the day. And the batter will be Gritch. Last time up against Tim Hudson. Tie game.
It's beautiful. You know, he hit the home run down the line against Clayton Kershaw on a breaking ball last series. Right here, he gets another pitch on the inside half and hammers it.
Three regular season home runs for Gritch at limited work. Takes a strike. You see it throwing hard at 95. Strike 2.
To me, as Casilla shook to throw this slider here, Gritch kind of sitting on anything inner half hard fastball. He's in a situation, 2 outs, bases loaded, bases empty. He's trying to leave the park.
Casilla does his thing. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Tied at 4. The emotion of an NLCS. The Cardinals and the Giants tied 4-4, bottom of the 9th inning, and Seth Maness will take over. Here's the game summary. Giants got 4 in the first. The last 13 batters, by the way, have been retired in order. Cold Wong, 2 more hits, a double, a 2-run triple. And Randall Gritch with another late home run for the Cardinals in the postseason. Here's Maness with Hunter Pence first up. Strike 1.
This guy's a strike throwing machine. That's why Hunter Pence is coming out swinging early.
In case you're wondering, Pat Neshek went 2 innings 3 times in the regular season. Last time he did it August 10th. So 1 inning for Neshek. And now Maness, the 4th pitcher of this game for St. Louis. A 1-1. Ball 2.
A lot of these fans on their feet. They want to see what the Cardinal fans at Busch Stadium saw in Game 2. A walk-off.
It's been 186 consecutive plate appearances without a home run for the Giants. Make it 187. Maness got the out. And a big stretch by Matt Adams at first.
Well, it's a heck of a play, and the rotation in which he caught the ball and turned and threw. You would think the ball's taking him towards third, he might spin the other way. He spins back inside and makes a strong throw back. That's a tough play.
And clearly Adams kept his foot on the bag. Good look at that. Here's Brandon Belt with Choate ready in the bullpen. Belt into left center. Jay to his right, 2 out. We talked about Yadier Molina, who was down there warming up Trevor Rosenthal, and it seems like only in a save chance. With Rosenthal on the mound, are we going to even have a chance to see Yadier Molina behind the plate?
Yeah, he can't swing the bat, so you won't see him in a tie game. With a lead to protect, he would be the defensive replacement at catcher. You know, talking about walk-offs, amazing to me, Joe. The Giants roll their history. They played 85 home postseason games. Only 4 walk-offs. First one was back in 1911. Last time, the 2010 NLCS Game 4.
Well, here's Morse. He's 1 for 1 in this series. Got a pinch hit, infield hit in St. Louis. He's jammed here and will go quietly as Adams goes to the bag, and Maness has a quick and easy 9th inning. That means into the 10th as number 61 gets his work done. Extra innings. Game 3 tied at 4. Some of the images from earlier in this game, and we will look ahead to what comes up immediately following the game on Fox Sports Live. Jay and Dan. We're joined by Frank Thomas, Gabe Kapler for instant reaction, analysis of today's game, as well as a preview of ALCS Game 3, which is coming up tonight. That's all coming up next on Fox Sports Live, right here on Fox Sports 1. Those two guys will speak Canadian to you. Here's Javier Lopez taking over for Casilla, who pitched a perfect inning with a strikeout. And Peter Borges will come off the bench and get his first at bat of this series, and just his second of the postseason.
Well, Lopez is in because Carpenter and Jay are behind Peter Borges.
In on the corners, the former LA Angel, who came with Gritch, as Tom mentioned earlier, for David Freese. Fernando Salas, a pitcher, an offseason deal pulled off by John Mozeliak, Cardinal general manager. Here he is, and he grounds to short. Crawford, one away.
The thing that's interesting about the offensive attack of both these clubs, they don't hit and run, they don't steal, not opening up a lot of holes, so they're going to have to really drive the baseball in order to score runs.
Here comes Matt Carpenter. So back to the top of the order for St. Louis. The Giants will have Crawford, Juan Perez, and Gregor Blanco in the bottom of this 10th. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Carpenter, strike one. And he was trying to jerk one out of here.
He tried to ambush him. You know, the familiarity, he saw him the other day. He knew what was coming, and he took a shot.
Javier Lopez is not allowed a hit since Game 4 of the 2010 NLCS against Philadelphia during postseason play. And he's 0-2 on Matt Carpenter. Bruce Bochy has a deep bullpen. He's strong left and right, and guys who have postseason experience. The main four have been with Bochy and the Giants. The championship in 2010, 2012, and here they are again in 2014.
It's a nice luxury to know the guys, not only what they'll do in a regular season, but in a postseason as well. Even Lopez, he got up early the other day against Carpenter in the 4th. I said, what were you thinking there? He said, I can get him up all the time. He's got that rubber arm.
2 down.
That's the sweeping breaking ball. He wanted this actually farther away. That sidearm angle, the low release point, and the sweep of the pitch still gets an excellent 2-strike hitter.
Well, you can see how it locked up Carpenter at first, and then he reacted to the curveball. He was looking for something hard in, especially after he busted him in, and then he tried to react, swung over.
Now John Jay. 2 hits today, 2 for 4. He is going up the middle for hit number 3. He's on, and he keeps the inning alive for Matt Holliday, and that'll be it for Javier Lopez.
Some kind of player, man. Get a chance to watch him play defense and swing the bat and have an idea. Every time he goes to the plate, he's got a plan what he wants to do.
That's a reaction from Bruce Bochy, because now he has to go back to the bullpen. With Matt Holliday coming up, Sergio Romo is coming in. 1 on, 2 out. Tie game in the 10th. The year as the closer. 2 nights ago, tie game, 9th inning. Cold Wong down the line, won it. The rookie took Romo out on a changeup right down the middle.
Yeah, you said it, the changeup. It's really his 4th best pitch. He worked on it in spring training to help neutralize left-handers. Surprised he went to that pitch. You will not see it here, obviously, against Holiday. Should be a steady diet of sliders.
Holiday 1 for 4 in this game. A hit by Jay kept the inning going, and now Holiday comes up empty, strike 1.
And remember the other night they picked Jay off when we got 0-2 on Holiday. I was talking to Bruce Bochy about that, and I said, you like the angle you have, the vantage point from being on the third base dugout? He said, yeah, I can see everything. I had a good feeling he was going to run. That's why they picked over and were able to pick him off. This situation, I think Jay sits here and lets Holiday hit.
One ball, one strike.
And you saw him double up with the fastball. Suppose he wanted to call that slider there. Slider, he'll throw. Really, the majority of his pitches will be sliders. Like Tim Hudson, keeps it down and away.
So it looked like a sign to throw over. Maybe hold, then throw over. Just to give him a look. Sometimes you want to freeze that runner enough that if a ball in the gap does not score him, you can keep him close enough to the base.
Ball 2, 2-1.
There's his bread and butter. You see Romo throw a fastball, you're probably as surprised as the hitter might be. Guarantee you, Matt Holliday's sitting all over slider.
Yeah, he's got to be at least looking zone, looking for the ball away from him. You see the way they defend him straight up across the field, that he can use the whole field. He'll take the ball away and go the other way.
There it is again, and misses outside. The count goes to 3-1. On deck, the left-handed hitting Matt Adams. The Giants got the first 4 runs all in the first inning. Led 4-0, 4-2 after 4, 4-3 after 6. A home run by Randall Gritch tied the game in the top of the 7th. And here we are in the 10th. Veteran right-hander started it, Hudson and Lackey, and now we are deep into the 2 bullpens. That's a slider for a strike, and it's a full count.
Yeah, I think it was a pitch that Matt did not like on the 3-1 count. I think he's looking slider, but it didn't break back over enough for him. It still hung on the inside half. This is a great pitch, 3-1.
Runner will go. Ground ball left side. Diving stop. Sandoval. Long throw. Got it. The Panda flashing some leather and showing off his arm. Got a tricky hop too. And we're still tied 4-4 into the bottom of the 10th here in game 3. How about a Game 3 summary? San Francisco got 4 runs in the first inning, and it all started with 2 out. Then John Lackey settled in and was outstanding. Randall Gritch, a solo shot in the 7th inning, tied the game. And now here we are in the bottom of the 10th, still tied 4-4, and Randy Choate, 5th pitcher for the Cardinals, into the game with Brandon Crawford first up. Strike 1. It's Crawford, then Perez, then Blanco.
Look, this is a game-saving play right here. I want you to look at where the left fielder is. You got Jay running on the play. This ball's hitting the corner. It's like Jay starts at second base, but this ball gets by and rattles in the corner. That's a run. That's a big-time play right there to end that half inning.
Sandoval made it, kept it tied, and now the 0-1 to Crawford. 1 ball, 1 strike, 19 times. Did the Giants win a game in their last at bat during the regular season? They've done it once this postseason on the home run by Brandon Belt in the 18th inning of Game 2 at Washington. Here's a 1-1. That's inside, 2-1. And last time we saw Randy Choate, Tom, was a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, leadoff walk too. Right now, 16 batters in a row. Cardinal pitchers have set down a relay race of 4 different Cardinal pitchers taking care of the last 16 outs in order.
That's on the outside corner, 2-2.
Pitchers really have a feel when hitters are trying to look for a pitch to drive. You know, right there, he gets him 2-1. He's been inside, and he goes outside, paints one on the corner outside.
Crawford 0 for 10 in this series. That's foul.
This would be the one time the Giants may manufacture if Crawford were able to get on. You got Perez up next. Probably move him up with a bunt, maybe a hit and run. I think that's about it.
Talk about that's about it. For the Giants, have had 2 base runners since the first inning. When Sandoval was hit by a pitch. And the only hit belongs to Tim Hudson. He left in the 7th. Here's a 2-2. Inside a full count.
It's really interesting that Crawford has seen Choate 10 times. 0 for 6, but 4 walks in those 10 plate appearances. Tells you he does see the ball well against the tough left-hander.
He's in a battle. It was Crawford who led off in the 7th inning of Game 2 with a walk against Randy Choate. And here he is in the 10th with a full count.
Yeah, so often, to your point, Tom, you will ask guys, how has he looked? You know, one of the indicators for me is how many strikeouts do you have against a guy, if you're seeing him or not. Or you go with what you just said, the walks. It's telling him he's seeing the ball. He may not have the results, but he's seeing it. Gives you a chance.
He draws a walk. Winning run is on with nobody out here in the 10th.
Obviously, the last thing Choate wanted to do, went with the sinker. And again, Brandon Crawford, no give in there against Randy Choate. Wanted the call. Good call by Jerry Davis.
Well, now the Cardinals expect a bunt from Juan Perez. With Crawford on and Blanco on deck.
A lot of times they'll throw over on that just to see if what the offense is going to do. Is he going to bunt? Is he going to hit and run? Clearly Perez squared around, showed bunt right there. Now the Giants have a good idea. The question comes down to, you want Blanco as your matchup, or are you going to pinch hit with Arias and get Martinez? If he gets a bunt down, that is.
showed it there.
Yeah.
As you said, pickoff throws designed keep the runner close, but also allow the batter maybe give it away. He did, but no surprise. 100 times out of 100 on bunting right here. And Gregor Blanco, 3 for 6 against Randy Choate.
Strike one.
See Perez trying to get the ball down to first base. You would think with Randy Choate's delivery and the motion that he would be a lot easier to bunt to first base than third base anyway, just by the release point where he's delivering the ball. You got third baseman Carpenter. He's got the freedom to charge. Adams has to honor that runner at first base, so he's not going to get a quick break.
Juan Perez with an 0-2 count.
Put it on again. You trust he can do it. You put it on again. He's in good position. He just tried to get too soft with the baseball.
Yeah, he's got to get a better angle on that bat too. I'm not sure. I love the way he went about it to trust he's going to get it down with 2 strikes. Let's see.
That's why you have the throw over. The Cardinals are thinking the same thing. Let's see if he's going to square. He didn't turn that time.
That Carpenter less sure of a bunt in this situation. He's backed up at third base.
The 0-2, not bunting, a swinging foul ball. There's the next man, Gregor Blanco. This is only the 3rd postseason extra inning home game for the Giants since they moved west in '58. They have not won one yet. They're 0-2. Last time they had an extra inning walk-off win in franchise history, 1954 Game 1 of the World Series. The Dusty Rhodes home run. Beat Cleveland. That's down and away, ball 1.
Now's when you come back with the bunt if you're going to. It's easier to bunt with a strike on you than in an 0-2 situation. With a strike, now you think the pitcher's going to be a little more in attack mode, maybe looking for a strikeout. 0-2, you don't know if you're going to get a pitch way up in the zone or whatever it might be.
See if they go back to it or if he's swinging. He's swinging and he grounds foul. Juan Perez got a big base hit in the 9th inning of Game 2. Helped set up that opportunity for the Giants, who tied it on the wild pitch. The panic that scored Matt Duffy from second base. The 1-2. That's a base hit into left. Forget the bunt. 2 on, nobody out.
It actually works out great. And because now you got Blanco coming up against the left-handed pitcher to move him up.
A lot of talk in that Cardinal dugout after that hit between Derek Lilliquist, who's on his way to the mound, the pitching coach, and Mike Matheny about where you want this inning to go. Carlos Martinez, strikeout pitcher, warmed up in the bullpen. The guy you can match up against left or right with strikeout stuff. Bunt situation in play right here against the guy Blanco with 3 doubles and 6 at-bats against Randy Choate.
Well, they're talking about a few things. They're talking about if he gets this bunt down, now you're second and third. How are you going to go after Panic? And that leads to Posey.
Meanwhile, the trouble started for Randy Choate on a walk to the left-handed batter Brandon Crawford. Then after foregoing the bunt, a base hit by Juan Perez And it's 2 on with nobody out, and Gregor Blanco about to dig in. Blanco 2 out of 14 in this series. What's he going to do? Bunt. And he drops it down foul.
This situation, he's trying to be too fine. Both the guys that are bunting. Now you've got a force play at third. So you're going to try to push this ball to third baseman. You can actually bunt it a little bit harder and really force Carpenter to field the ball. You want Carpenter to field it. It's easier said than done. Let's see what happens.
The bunt. Perfect. Wild throw. And the Giants win game 3. And that's how the Giants do it. A leadoff walk. Perez couldn't get down the bunt. Gets a base hit. And on a good bunt by Blanco at the end of a disastrous inning, Randy Choate throws it into the Cardinal bullpen.
That's what happens with the bunt. A lot of times you force the pressure. He's got to hit a second baseman who's got to hustle to first and dive back and try to catch it. If you're going one direction, have to go back the other way to catch the ball.
We'll be back in a quick moment for post-game coverage of Game 3 right now. On the heels of this 5-4 Giants win, they lead 2-1. We go to Fox Sports Live in Los Angeles. Here's Jay and Dan.
Get a base in second base, and I try to get a hit to the middle and win the game.
What did you see as the play developed?
Well, then I was man first and second. On the saw, I have to say, well, I got to put this one down. I know we got panic behind, and then when Buster posting, I was like, well, just put it down. And the first one, I was a little rushed, and the other side I said to myself, just put it down. And all the time the ball, it was just there, and to tell you the truth, I was just trying to run the hardest you can. Maybe he threw a bad throw to first base, and that's all he did. So I think it was awesome.
Gregor, as much as you guys struggled after the first inning, how impressive was this to come back and win this game with your bullpen doing what it did?
Unbelievable, man. That's who we are. You know, we just battle every single time, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Let's just win a game, and let's just play every single game like it's the last, and that showed right there that it doesn't really matter how we win. just as long as we win, that's what we want.
Gregor, thanks a lot. Now over to Aaron Andrews.
Kenny, thanks so much. Here with Hunter Pence. We were just joking off camera. The last hit for your team was in the bottom of the fourth, and it was Tim Hudson. Big smile. What adjustment did John Lackey make with you guys?
He really he bared down, and we kind of had an idea he was going to work away, especially in this ballpark. And I think he saw, we had some good swings staying inside the ball in that first inning. He started working the fastball in, and he made it tough on us.
Talk about a tough one. Tell us a little bit about what it was like playing in right field today. I mean, your hair is looking amazing, but we saw you guys running all those routes and how crazy it was out there.
Yeah, it was pretty windy. This is one of the windier days of the season. So, these kinds of things, you just got to kind of make the best of it. Really, it was only if you hit a really high one. I think the Colton Wong ball and Ishikawa's ball really got taken off with the wind. But other than that, it was pretty fair.
Every single game we have seen in this NLCS has been tremendous. It's like almost a chess match. What is it like playing in it, watching it, seeing it come down to extra innings today?
It's intense. It's pretty exciting. These are two really good ball clubs, really well managed. A lot of guys that have been here before. So it is a chess match, and these games they're battles, and it comes down to the little things.
And you guys know each other very well. See you tomorrow. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, Joe, over to you.
Well, there you go. That's the way the game ends with this throw by Randy Choate that just took off. And as Hunter Pence said, as Ken Rosenthal said, as you guys have said, this is how the Giants do it. These are two very evenly matched teams. But here today, good defense by the Giants. You think about the Sandoval play at third and the defense letting down the Cardinals with Randy Choate not only on the throw to first, but what he did on the mound, walking the left-handed batter to start the inning.
Yeah, you talk about all those little things, and the Giants, we talked about the power is not there right now, so they're going to nibble and be able to manufacture runs.
These teams are so evenly matched. Mike Matheny said it best. You need to play a clean game to win. They did not in game one. They did not today in game three.
Look how they've scored runs in this NLCS. The Cardinals have done it with a home run ball. Only 2 on singles, 2 on a triple. That happened in this game with Colton Wong. But you see how the Giants do it any way they can get it done. And it's not just this series, but it's how they've done it really all season long. They did it against Pittsburgh. They do it against the Nationals. And now here they are doing it, trying to stamp their ticket for the World Series.
It becomes a mindset when you play one-run games all season long, and the bullpen is your strength. Your pitching is your strength. If we can just chip away and maybe get a couple runs, we're going to win the game. So they know if they're able to get that kind of pitching and production, they're going to be in every ball game and have a chance at the end. And that's what we saw today.
I love what Tim Flannery, the third base coach, said a couple of days ago. It's not always RBIs with us. It's RTIs, runs thrown in.
Right.
They finished off the Nationals on a wild pitch that sent the winning run in. And today, ball thrown into right field, the winning run comes home.
And that winning run is standing by with Ken Rosenthal. Kenny.
Thanks, Brandon. Randy Choate, you had a big walk off him in the last game. You're 0 for 6 with 4 walks off him coming into that at bat. What is it about him? And tell me about that walk and how it developed.
He's real tough on lefties. He comes down there at kind of a funky angle for us, and almost like he's coming behind us, and he has big sink. So he's real tough, and I haven't been having a great series against these guys, so I knew I had to get on base any way I could. Fortunately, I battled there and drew the wall.
Hey, you told me about the bunts. You eventually got one down. How much did you feel for Perez? And then what was your reaction when he got the hit?
That was awesome. I know, obviously, he wanted to get the bunt down, but it turned out better for us. Getting me over and getting on base himself, allowing Blanco to get down that big bunt. And, we made him make a play, and fortunately, we came out on top.
Blanco made a good bunt, obviously. How did you see that play develop?
He put down a good bunt right where he's supposed to. He made Choate come over and try. It made him make a tough play and threw it wide over there. So a little unconventional, but we'll take it any way we can get it for sure.
Brandon, the performance of your bullpen today, off of that last game when they struggled so much, how impressed were you the way they bounced back?
That was awesome. That was great for all of them. I felt coming in for 2 innings and shutting the door for us, and Javi and Casilla, and obviously Romo after that. I know he wanted to get back out there after that home run the other night, so he did great for us.
Brandon, thanks very much.
All right,
back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. In a battle of the bullpens, The question was which bullpen would blink first. The answer, the Cardinals. A 5-4 win for the Giants in Game 3. And here's how it ended. The throw by Choate down the line. Giants celebrate here at home, up 2-1. Jay and Dan, we send it back to you in Los Angeles.